Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
We will start with a prayer. Please repeat after me. Om Vakratundaya Namaha.
Om Vakratundaya Namaha.
Vakratunda Mahakaya.
Vakratunda Mahakaya.
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Surya Koti Samaprabha.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva.
Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva.
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada.
Welcome. So Mahabharata is a very significant story, epic, got a lot of names. But before we get into Mahabharata and what it's about, let's try to understand what is Mahabharata, and then we'll get into some stories and why it is told. So, do you guys know the Mahabharata already? A little bit, something? Yeah. Quite a bit? Okay. What do you know about the Mahabharata? Do you know the characters? Yeah? What do you? Let me hear some characters. Anybody? You can call it up.
Pandavas.
Pandavas, group of characters. Anybody else? Kauravas, another group of characters. That's it? No other characters? Krishna. Pretty important character. Anybody else? You can call it out. There are a million characters in Mahabharata. Arjuna. Anybody else? Dhritarashtra. Bhima. Drona. Sanjaya. Let's go. It's Mahabharata. There are a lot more.
Yes.
Who are the Pandavas? Yudhishthira. Bhima. Draupadi. Nakula. Sahadeva. You can call it out. There are more characters. If you think about it, you can get them. Any bad characters? Duryodhana. Anybody else? Shakuni. Very important. Karna. So every great story, every good story has good characters and bad characters. A great story has grey characters. Karna is a grey character. It's very difficult to determine whether he's good or bad. Great person, awesome characteristics, join the wrong side. A great story has grey characters. Harry Potter is a great story. So the Mahabharata was set in the year 3000 BCE. The Mahabharata was set in the year 3000 BCE, or it is 5000 years old. What is 5000 years? Is it so much, so much? So in order to put that in context, in order to understand what is 5000 years, let's try to put that in context so we can understand what is 5000 years. Can somebody help me out? Anybody? Who can help me out? You can help me out, it will be fun. Come on, I need two people to help me out. Any two people? Okay, so okay. See, that was simple. Okay, what's your name?
Gokul.
Gokul and Varun. Okay, so Gokul and Varun, you can look that side. Alright, so in order to understand what is 5000 years, let's imagine Gokul, right? Okay, let's imagine along with all the Pandavas, Gokul is also from Mahabharata. So we'll put him in one corner. Let's assume this is Mahabharata era, and we will start with Varun. Varun? Alright, we will start with today, and we will travel towards Mahabharata. We'll do some time travel. So what year is today? 2014. So the easiest thing to do, in order to make time travel meaningful, we have to put some landmarks so we know who we see, what we see and all that. Easiest thing to say about today is Barack Obama. Okay, so let's look at him.
Okay.
And you take us, since you're tall, I'm going to ask you to take small steps. Alright, so let's take a small baby step.
Okay.
And who's the president before Barack Obama?
Bush.
George Bush. Take another step. President before that? Bill Clinton. Okay, all of you, who's the president before George Bush? Clinton. One more step. Bush, George Bush. Okay, so how much have we traveled so far? About 20 years, 22 years. At this rate, we won't reach 5,000 years, right? So we have to travel a little faster. Take one more step. 1947, what happened?
Independence.
Indian independence. India got independence in 1947. Take one more step. Early 1900s, World War I, World War II. How much have we traveled? About 100 years. That's all we had traveled. Mahabharata is still another 4,900 years away. We have to travel slightly faster. Take one more step. What happened in 1776? Declaration of Independence. America got independence in 1776. Take one more step. 1492. Christopher Columbus found this land. America was discovered. But all this were just forests. Nothing was here. Not these buildings, not these shops and malls and schools and colleges. All forests. When it was discovered, Mahabharata had already lived 4,500 years. Let's take one more step. Let's at least try to get close to Mahabharata, year 0. What happened? Jesus Christ was born. When Jesus Christ was born, we have only traveled 2,000 years. Mahabharata is another 3,000 years away. Let's at least try to go halfway to Mahabharata. One more step. 500 BC, what happened?
Buddha.
Gautama Buddha was born. Mahavira was born around the same time. Buddhism, Jainism, all this came into play. 2,000 years from today, 2,000 years, 2,500 years from today, 2,500 years from Mahabharata, 500 BC. Hopefully, Varun, right? Varun can take one more step and reach Gokul. And that's how old Mahabharata is. Mahabharata is an old epic. It's 5,000 years old. Mahabharata is also a long epic. How long? It is 1.8 million words in length. It's 1.8 million words. Again, let's try to put that in context. You guys have read Harry Potter? Seen Harry Potter? How many books are there in Harry Potter? 7 books made into 8 movies. All 7 books of Harry Potter put together is 1 million words. Mahabharata is 1.8 million. Lord of the Rings? You read Lord of the Rings? 3 books of Lord of the Rings put together. 500,000 words. Mahabharata is 1.8 million. Mahabharata is roughly about 10 times the size of Iliad and Odyssey combined. Mahabharata is also 4 times the size of Ramayana. It's a long, big epic. Let's put another context to it. This is about the size of a typical book, give or take. And such a book is about 20,000 words, give or take. How many such books do you need to stack one on top of another to reach 1.8 million? 10, 20, 900, 30, 40, how much? 50, 60, 70, 20,000 into 90 books is 1.8 million books. Nearly 100 such books stacked one on top of another. That's how big Mahabharata is. Mahabharata is a big epic. And along with Ramayana, it's one of 2 great epics from India. Now, why is Mahabharata important? Why should we study it? Is it because it's 5,000 years old? Yes, no. No. Is it because it's 1.8 million words in length? Yes, no. No. Is it because it's from India and we have to study Indian culture? Yes, no. Maybe. Swamiji is here. That's a good reason. It's not the only reason. It's a very profound, very real reason why Mahabharata is so important. Tennis ball? Okay. Now, what will happen if I let go of the tennis ball? It will fall down. Why will it fall? Why will it fall down? It will fall down because of gravity. And what is gravity? What is gravity? Simple questions. It's force between 2 objects. It's a force that keeps us down on Earth. It's a force between objects. A very textual definition. Isaac Newton defined gravity as that force that attracts any 2 objects together. We are objects. Earth's an object. Earth's a bigger object. Earth wins. Gravity. Albert Einstein defined gravity as the result of space-time curvature. Who knows what that means? So, which is easy to understand. What Newton said, what you read in the textbooks, what Einstein said, or a ball, any object, when let go, will fall down. Gravity. We just perceive it because it has become second nature. There are concepts in life. People teach us concepts all the time. Parents teach us concepts. Teachers teach us concepts. And concepts are inherently boring. Concepts are inherently ridiculously boring. We hate listening to them. It's horrible. Such concepts are important though. And we know that, back of our minds, we know that. We have to be truthful, sure. Have to eat vegetables, yeah. We know, but they are inherently boring. Don't lie, of course. But because it is boring, our ancestors, ages ago, centuries ago, were so brilliant. They devised a way by which these concepts can get ingrained into us. So somebody doesn't have to sit there and teach or tell what to do and what not to do. And the Mahabharata is a vehicle. Is a way that these concepts can become second nature, just like reality. So nobody has to tell us definitions, and that is why it is significant. It is a life teacher. What does it teach? Let's take some simple concepts. Let's take a concept like desire. We are all in a state of reality, which is today, now, and all of us have a state of desire, where we want to be. If you put yourself in your state of reality, look at your desire, and make peaceful, step-by-step progress, one day you will reach your desire. Instead, if you put yourself in your state of desire, and look at your reality, it will be very frustrating. What's an example? My desire is that I want to look like Tom Cruise. That's my desire. I want to have a nice thin body. Macho. Vin Diesel, one of those guys. Reality, I'm a puny little guy. Okay? So if I put myself in my state of desire, where I want to be, and look at myself, I get frustrated. Instead, if I put myself in my state of reality and make peaceful step-by-step progress, work out every day, go to the gym, diet properly, eat properly, slowly, steadily, guaranteed, one day I'll reach you. Concept. The Mahabharata will, through stories, ingrain this concept into us, and we will see that today. Another famous concept that we've listened to most of the time is somehow, as human beings, we are special. More special than any other creature in the planet. Here's the secret. If you take any natural ability that we are born with, any ability, walking, swimming, talking, any ability, more than 70% of the creatures in this world are better than us. You guys can swim? Most of you? So? You can swim better. You are a fish. Probably a fish. Who can run faster? You are a deer. Probably a deer. But God, in His infinite wisdom, decided, along with natural abilities that we are born with, He decided to give us a tool called intellect. And He said, you man, you human being, you're the only creature who has this intellect, and using this intellect you can create tools like a car that can go faster than a deer. Like a submarine that can swim faster and longer than any fish. These are again concepts. So what are you going to do as a human being? We can either live our entire life, we are born only as a human possibility. We are not born as a human being, we are born as a human possibility. We can live our entire life like an animal. Meaning, every animal sleeps, every animal gets up, every animal eats, every animal acquires something for its consumption, every animal breathes, every animal dies. Or we can realize the value of the human potential and become divine. Very, very boring concept Mahabharata will teach us through stories. Also something we will see. Okay. So let's look at the first story. It's a very simple story. And talk through it. There was once a king called Shantanu. You heard of this king? There was once a king called Shantanu. And this king Shantanu was the king of a kingdom called Hastinapura. Shantanu was the king of a kingdom called Hastinapura. King Shantanu was walking by the Ganges river one day. He was just strolling. And as it would be, he saw an incredibly beautiful woman. Very pretty, very beautiful, very divine looking. And Shantanu obviously was attracted to her. So he went to her and said, I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from. But please marry me. What did he not do? He did not put himself in the state of reality, look at his desire and make peaceful, step-by-step progress. He saw Ganga and said, marry me. And Ganga turned around. This was Goddess Ganga in human form. Goddess Ganga in human form, but Shantanu did not know that. She turned around and said, O king, I will marry you. But I have a condition. I will marry you, but I have a condition. Shantanu asked, what condition? He said, I will do all my duties as a wife, but my actions, whatever I do, you should not question. Whatever I do, you should not question. And you should never ask me who I am or where I am from. What kind of condition is this? Who will agree with this? I will do whatever I want, you should not ask me. But Shantanu was blind. And he said, marry me. So they got married. And maybe about a year passed. And they had a baby. Ganga took that baby, walked over to the river, dropped it in the river, and the baby drowned and died. Shantanu was watching this and he was aghast, he was horrified, he didn't know what just happened. He couldn't believe what he saw. He wanted to run to Ganga and shake her up and ask her, what did you just do? But he did not ask. Why did he not ask? Because he made a promise. The second thing we learned is, if you make a promise, keep it. If you don't think you can keep the promise, don't make it. Simple. Ganga wanted to ask Shantanu, did not ask. Shantanu wanted to ask Ganga, did not ask. Another year passed, another baby was born. Ganga took the second baby, went over to the river, dropped the second baby in the river, the baby drowned and died. Third baby was born. What did Ganga do? Same thing. Dropped the baby in the river, the baby drowned and died. Fourth baby, what did Ganga do? Same thing. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. When the eighth baby was born, Ganga took the eighth baby and she had the same intention, presumably. Shantanu could not hold himself any longer. He ran after her, caught her, turned her around and said, stop it! What are you doing? You are such an evil woman. You are killing our children. Who are you?
I'm not
Who are you? He broke his promise. Ganga turned around and said, King, you have broken your promise and the time has come for me to leave you. Time has come for me to leave you. But before going, I will tell you who I am, where I am from, and the reasons for my actions. So Ganga told the story. First of all, whatever Ganga did, was it right or wrong? You can say it. Was it right or wrong?
Well, she's a goddess, so
Well,
she had some.
maybe she had a reason.
She did have reasons.
She dropped 7 children in the river. Come on. She killed 7 babies. Of course it's wrong. Let's listen to what she says. So Ganga said, I am goddess Ganga. It's the first time she's telling Shantanu this. I am goddess Ganga and I was born in this world as a human being as a result of sage Vasishta's curse on the 8 Vasus. Vasus are Hindu elemental gods. They are 8 in number. Aha, Anala, Anila, Dhara, Soma, Dhruva, Pratyusha, Prabhasa. 8 gods. And these 8 gods were one day holidaying with their wives on a mountain. And they came across sage Vasishta's ashram. Ashram is like a small hut. Sages and rishis used to live. See, they came across Sage Vasishta's ashram, and outside this ashram was Vasishta's divine cow called Nandini. And this was no ordinary cow. She was a divine cow. She was glowing and radiant and looked pretty cool. So these Vasus and their wife huddled around the cow, said, man, what a beautiful cow. Awesome. And one of these wives was so tempted by the cow, she told her husband Prabhasa, can you get that cow for me? Prabhasa said, no, I can't get the cow for you. He said, please get the cow for me. No way, it's Vasishta's cow, we cannot get it. But Prabhasa's wife did not stop. She kept pestering, get the cow for me, get the cow for me, get the cow for me. She didn't stop. So eventually Prabhasa kept saying, no, stop asking me, I cannot get the cow for you. But eventually he gave up and gave in and said, okay, I'll get it. So with the help of the other 7 Vasus, Prabhasa stole the cow and they disappeared before Vasishta came back. Vasishta eventually came back and he found Nandini missing. A very powerful sage. He closed his eyes and using his divine vision, he immediately found out all that had happened and he felt, you gods, you are behaving in such petty ways. You stole a cow. You behaving in such petty ways like human beings. Go be born as human beings. He cursed them. That was the curse. Why is that a curse? Be born as human beings. He could have said, go be born as an ant. He said, human beings. Why is that a curse? For a God who enjoys all the pleasures, no doing homework, no going to school, no having to work, no shoveling snow, all pleasures, not having to eat, no flatulence, all pleasures for a God to come and live here as a human being and undergo these things is torture. Now these Vasus found out that they had been cursed and they were like, oh my God, what did we just do? We have to go be born as human beings. So they ran to Vasishta, fell at his feet and said, please take back Nandini, we are so sorry, please don't give us this curse. Any other curse is fine, just this curse, no. Vasishta said, I am sorry, the curse has been said. It has escaped my mouth. It has gone out. I have said it. I cannot take it back. The Vasus kept pleading, please take it back. Please do something. So Vasishta eventually pulled down and he said, okay, I cannot take the curse back. You still have to be born as human beings, but I can reduce the effect of the curse. You still have to be born as human beings, but you don't have to live an entire lifetime as human beings. Go request Goddess Ganga, request her. She will say, okay. Go request Goddess Ganga to be your mother on earth when you're born as human beings. And as soon as you're born, ask her to drop you in the river and kill you so you can die as human beings and come back and be gods again. Immediately, without suffering long years as human beings. He also went on to say, this reduction in curse I give to 7 of you, not 8 of you. Since Prabhasa was the god who actually stole the cow, all of you, the others helped him, Prabhasa stole it, he has to live his entire lifetime on earth as a human being. But he will live a great life and he will be remembered throughout history for a very, very long time, at least until 2014. Just to remember today. So these Vasus were happy. They went to Ganga, requested her, Ganga agreed, came down to earth, became their mother and carried out this task. Now what do we learn from this? Everything has a reason. The reason could be an event that happened yesterday, day before yesterday, last week, last month, last year, last decade, last century, millions of years ago, worlds apart. Could be anything. Doesn't matter. All we can do today is our duty. All we can do today is our duty. Today we have to study and do homework. Today we will do study and do our homework. Today we have to cook. Today we will cook. Today we have to eat. Today we will eat. What happens tomorrow is tomorrow. What happened yesterday is already yesterday. That's it. story, we learn that everything has a reason. And regardless of the reason, the only thing that we have in our hands is to do our duty today. Ganga, once she finished her story, took the 8th child back with her to the heavens, raised him for a few years, brought him back to King Shantanu and said, King, this is your 8th son. His name is Devavrata. He has learned the Vedas from Vasishta and he's excelled in all forms of science and archery. Here is your 8th son. And Shantanu was very happy that he got his son back and they both started living happily together. Once Ganga gave the 8th son back to King Shantanu, she disappeared. Shantanu and Devavrata were living happily from then on. Okay. What is this? My ice cream cup, ice cream bowl. Do you guys have cold stone and hot melon? Good. Pretty good. Be cool. How many of you want to have ice cream? I've done this so many times. Every time I take and see this, I really want to have cold stone. What just happened? We saw an ice cream cup and we want to have ice cream. When we see, it creates a desire in your head, makes us want to drive to an ice cream parlor, stand in line, buy the ice cream and eat it. Sight, action, result, consequence. Sight, action, result, consequence. Ultimately, there will be a consequence. Everything, anything that gets into our head can only get into our head in one of 5 ways. We either have to see something, smell something, taste something, hear something, or touch something. Sight, smell, taste, sound, touch. Only 5 ways. No other ways. Why do we go to the temple? Any idea why we go to the temple? Because we have to. Sometimes we feel good going there. Why do we go to the temple? Any reasons? Because God is there? Why? To focus your mind? Tell me something. Think about it. Why do we go to the temple?
In the temple, you're getting exposed in 4 or 5, all 5 ways to what you're aiming to get to.
Excellent. Exactly. It is not God's limitation that He sits in a temple. It is our limitation that we need ways to perceive God. Ramana Maharishi was a normal boy called Venkatraman. And he told, after becoming Ramana Maharishi, he said, before this life-changing experience, Venkatraman underwent a life-transforming experience and became Ramana Maharishi. And he says this. He says, before I underwent that experience, I used to go to the temple. So, Meenakshi temple in Madurai. I used to enjoy it a lot. After that experience, and this is Ramana Maharishi saying, after undergoing that experience, I went to the temple more often. Because now I could really understand and perceive. I used to go there, stand there, and tears used to flow. Our inability to perceive God the way He is, it's impossible. And therefore, we need to ensure that we have ways to perceive God. And the only 5 ways are sight, smell, taste, sound, touch. King Shantanu was very happy in Hastinapura with his son, and he was walking, this time by the Yamuna river. And he smelled a fragrance, something like he's never smelled before, a divine fragrance, such sweet smell. He wondered, what is this smell? And he walked in the direction of that smell. He walked in the direction of the smell, came to the banks of the river, and he saw another beautiful guys go to see beautiful girls all the time. So Shantanu saw another beautiful girl. But Shantanu was a little smarter this time. So he saw this girl and he went to her and asked her, "Who are you?" This girl turned around and said, "I am Satyavati. My name is Satyavati. I am the daughter of the chief of fishermen in the area." So Shantanu was a little clever. "Okay, I want to talk to your father." Satyavati said, "Okay." Shantanu went, met Satyavati's father, the chief of fishermen. Okay, he is a fisherman, right? And Shantanu was the king. So Shantanu went there and the chief of fishermen said, "Oh king, you've come here, welcome." Took him inside, made him sit down. "How can I serve you?" And the king said, "Oh fisherman chief, you have a very beautiful daughter. Very special daughter." And the chief said, "Yes, I know. How can I help you?" And Shantanu said, "I want to marry her." And the chief said, "O king, my daughter is a special woman, and you are no doubt a worthy groom. You're the king. But I have a concern and a condition." There you go. The king asked, "What's your concern?" He said, "King, if my daughter marries you, she will become the queen. You're the king, she will become the queen. However, the children born to the two of you can never become the next king because you already have a son called Devavrata." And by that time, Shantanu had already announced that Devavrata is going to become the next king. "So my concern, and therefore my condition, is that the children born to the two of you, you and my daughter, should become the next king of Hastinapura. Devavrata should not." What a horrible condition. So Shantanu turned around and said, "No, I can't do that. Devavrata, he's my son. He's a nice guy. Can't do that to him." And he said, "No." Basically, no deal. So he walked out. He went back to Hastinapura. Thinking about ice cream too? Once a desire enters your head, it's impossible to take it out. Shantanu was suffering from it. He kept thinking about Satyavati. He wanted to see her again. He wanted to marry her. He wanted to live with her. And he was so miserable, sitting alone all the time. And people noticed, especially Devavrata. He noticed. And he went to him and asked him, "Dad, what's wrong? You don't go horse riding, you're not even ruling the kingdom, you're just sitting here all day. What's happening?" And Shantanu looked at him and how is he going to say, "I know I'm in love with this girl"? He just said, "It's nothing, just leave me alone." But Devavrata knew that something was wrong. He knew something was wrong. So he went and spoke to Shantanu's charioteer and asked, "Where did my father go last? Who did he meet? Who did he talk to?" And the charioteer said, "Well, the king went to this fisherman chief, spoke to him, and ever since he came back, he's been like this." So Devavrata said, "Take me to him." So the charioteer took Devavrata to the chief of fishermen. Devavrata went there. Chief of fishermen obviously recognized Devavrata. "Oh, prince, please come." And Devavrata asked, did my father come and talk to you?" "Yes." "What happened?" So the chief of fishermen said, "Your father wanted to marry my daughter. And he was very honest about it. My concern was that the children born to them can never become the king, because you're there. And I asked him if the children born to them can become the next king of Hastinapura. Your father couldn't agree. He left. End of story." Devavrata did not bat an eyelid. He immediately said, "Is that it? They can become the king. I don't want to be the king. All I want is for my dad to be happy." Very unselfish. Immediately said that. All cool, right? So problem solved. But the chief of fishermen had one more condition. He said, "Oh, Devavrata, that's very unselfish. Nobody would say that. You made a promise that nobody would. But I still have one more concern." Devavrata asked, "What?" "You will keep up your promise," the chief of fishermen said. "You, Devavrata, will keep up your promise. I have no doubts. But one day you will get married. And you will have children. And your children may feel wronged, that their father was wrong, that they should have become the true kings of this kingdom. And they may come after the children born to your father and my daughter. They may come after children. And you are so powerful, you have learned so much from Vasishta, you know everything so well, you're so powerful, you're so skilled in warcraft, your children are bound to be just as skilled as you. And they might kill the children born to Shantanu and Satyavati, and that is my concern. How hypothetical. Now, it is the reaction of Devavrata that is the most surprising. Devavrata did not bat an eyelid. He immediately put up his hands and said, in that case, I take another solemn vow. I will never get married and therefore never have children. You don't have to worry about my children coming after the kingdom, because I will never get married and never have children. I will live an entire lifehood as a bachelor. And he took his vow. And immediately, as soon as he took that vow, gods appeared on the sky, showered flowers on Devavrata, and cried out, Bhishma, Bhishma, Bhishma. The name Bhishma means terrible. Refers to, in this case, this person called Devavrata, who took a terrible, impossible vow and intended to live by it. Pretty unselfish. What we learn from this story is not that it was unselfish. Have you ever seen newborn babies? Some of you, all of you? Have you seen newborn babies? Yeah. How big are they? Big, tiny, kind of like so much. Only thing newborn babies can do is probably wiggle their hands, maybe their feet, and all they can do to express what they feel is cry. They go, wah. Who takes care of them? Who takes care of them? Parents? Who takes care of them? Mom and dad? How many of you were newborn babies at some point in your life? Somebody? Few of you? Maybe all of us. Who took care of us? All we could do was go. We go, we poop, cry. Eat, cry. Sleep, wake up, cry. That's all we can do. We could do. Our parents took care of us from that age. Unconditionally. Our parents give us a lot. They really don't expect us to go outside, stand there, put up our hands and say, you'll never get married. No. Just sometimes do homework. Sometimes don't complain. Sometimes don't act entitled. Sometimes just say, okay. That's it. Very simple. And because they did so much for us, because they are the reasons, and that's why it said Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. It is the mother who shows us the father, and it is because of them that we come in contact with a guru, and it is only through a guru that we can see God. Very simple. But everything starts from your parents. And Devavrata, symbolically, the story of Devavrata becoming Bhishma symbolizes the respect that everybody should have for his or her parent. We all wear hats. All of us, children, adults alike, we all wear hats. We wear a hat called student, working somewhere, IT professional, doctor, engineer, lawyer, homeowner, car owner, multiple car owners, all kinds of hats, one on top of another, on top of another. Underneath all those hats is that hat called a child, no matter how old you are. No matter. And to our parent, that is the hat they want to see us wearing. No matter how old you are. And if our parent thinks calling them once a week is what they want, call them once a week. No matter how old you are, our parents' requirement of us is very, very simple for that age. And the story of Devavrata shows us not that you should be unselfish and not be married, but the respect that everybody should have inherently to our parents. Which time do we have? Oh, maybe 7 minutes?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. What's this? $10. Money. Okay. Let's learn the next concept. Now who? Can somebody else help me? Please? Anybody? Come here. If you guys won't volunteer, I have to volunteer you. Come here. What's your name? Mahadev.
No, Mom.
Madhava. Does it mean the same? Madhava. Okay. So pick a country. Any country. Iceland. I was going to say I got a job in that country, and now I have to say I got a job in Iceland. Okay, I got a job in Iceland as a ice picker. So I got a job in Iceland, very excited about it, no idea why. So I'm packing all my bags, I take all my possessions, and I'm in a hurry. I have this $10 bill in my hand, I don't know why I took it out. And I want to put it back inside so I can leave for the airport, and I'm late. Means you go to Iceland, right? Okay. Or the harbor. So I'm late, I'm in a hurry, I'm going to rush there, and I put this in my pocket, and I go. Unfortunately, I didn't put it in my pocket, and I didn't realize it didn't fall into my pocket, it fell down. I'm gone. Mother comes by. And he says, looks at that $10 bill, says, hey, $10. He picks it up, looks around, there is nobody here. He says, cool, free money. And what is Madhavan? Dude, yeah, I'm going to jump to the next scene where you actually give it back to me. Madhavan goes to an ice cream parlor, gets an ice cream for $10. Expensive ice cream, probably a lot of ice cream, gives the $10, enjoys the ice cream. Whose money? Whose money?
Iceland's money.
Sriram's money, my money. Who enjoyed it? Who enjoyed it? Madhavan enjoyed it. Law of the universe says, Sriram, because it's his money, gets a +1 score. Madhavan gets a -1 score. And the law continues to say, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter if it's going to be Madhavan PayPaling it back to Sriram or not. It doesn't matter how the account has to be settled. That's the law of the universe. How long, how many generations, what lifetimes, doesn't care. So I'm going to Iceland, he's still here, he doesn't know who it came from, how is this going to happen? So this is what the law of the universe makes, this is how it makes it happen. So maybe in the next lifetime, Madhavan is born, he grows up, he buys a house, do you want to buy a house? He buys a house, and every day in the morning, you like coffee? Hot chocolate? Okay, milk? No. Maybe something cheap. Okay, let's go with chocolate. He takes that, puts some sugar in it every day, to make it sweeter, eats it, and goes to work. Unfortunately, he spills a little bit of sugar on the table every day. Maybe Sriram is born as an ant in that same house. And every day he smells sugar in the morning, trots slowly to the kitchen, up the table, goes to the sugar, smells it, it is sugar, eats a little bit of the sugar, and the lunch is done. And the ant, Sriram the ant, continues doing it over and over and over again until
I lose $10.
worth of sugar. Sriram, Madhavan ate ice cream with Sriram's money. Sriram the ant ate Madhavan's sugar. And the score will be settled. It will come back to 0. It will even out. That's the law of the universe. Okay, that was pretty simple. Let's make it a little more complicated. Come here. Let's try this again. Second time. Can you pick a country? Something like Iceland. Greenland? Cold places. Do you know I'm actually driving on the way from Buffalo to Florida? I'm moving there. That's why I'm here today. En route, because I hate the cold. Iceland and Greenland. Okay, it's Greenland. Alright, so I get a job again, same example. I'm on my way, Greenland. Put money in my pocket, but it's not in my pocket. Drop it, I'm gone. Madhavan comes along, picks up the 10 bucks. He looks around, nobody's there. Still feels, hey, 10 bucks, still puts it in his pocket, it's okay. And he says, it's not my money. I don't want to have ice cream with it. Let me try to do something good. So he finds a homeless guy and buys him lunch. Madhavan buys a homeless guy lunch. Homeless guy is happy. Whose money? Sriram's money. Nothing has changed, right? Sriram's money. Who enjoyed it? Homeless guy. Law of the universe still says Sriram gets +1, homeless guy gets -1, and in between, because Madhavan did a good act, he gets a +0.5. Now it gets complicated. Homeless guy, Madhavan, Sriram, law of the universe is pretty cool. So maybe in the next lifetime, the homeless guy is born as a lion in a jungle. And he's about to eat his lunch, a deer, already. And Sriram is born as a tiger, much heavier than a lion kind of tiger, in the same jungle. Sees that the lion is about to enjoy his dinner, drives the lion away and takes the lunch. And enjoys it. Score is evened out. Homeless guy ate lunch with Sriram's money. Sriram the tiger took homeless guy the lion's lunch back. What about Madhavan? Maybe unable to finish the entire lunch. The tiger leaves a portion of it and goes away. Maybe Madhavan's born as a jackal in the same jungle. And he comes, finds a lunch, just hey, free lunch. Enjoys it and goes back. The law of the universe still gets to even it out. And because Madhavan did a good act, he gets something good in return in the next lifetime or whenever, for not doing any effort in that lifetime. You can go back. In the kingdom of Hastinapura, once Shantanu and Satyavati got married, they had 2 children called Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. They had 2 children called Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada died at a young age because he challenged Gandharva to a fight and lost and died. And Vichitravirya became the next king of Hastinapura after Shantanu also died. Bhishma was always there. And Bhishma said, Chitrangada is dead. I will never get married. Vichitravirya is the king. In order to have the next king, Vichitravirya should get married. So he decided to look for a wife for Vichitravirya. And he heard that the king of Kasi was conducting a Swayamvara for his daughters. A Swayamvara is an ancient Kshatriya practice. A Swayamvara is an ancient Kshatriya practice where princesses would choose their husbands. So the king of Kasi was conducting a Swayamvara for his 3 daughters, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika. So Bhishma decided to go to Kasi to find a suitable wife for Vichitravirya. And Bhishma went there to Kasi. And the Swayamvara was about to take place. The 3 daughters were there. A lot of kings and princes were there. It was packed. What happens in a Swayamvara? Princesses choose their husbands. What is the only reason to go to a Swayamvara? To find a wife. What is the one thing Bhishma said he won't do? Find a wife. So people saw him and said, what is he doing there? Doing here? He made all that hoopla about I'll never get married, blah blah. And he's here at a Swayamvara. What is he doing here? And they started taunting Bhishma. You Bhishma, you have no honor, you made such a promise. You should probably give back that name. become Devavrata again. They started taunting him, calling him names. They were so annoyed. Now Bhishma, still young, got angry. They didn't know he was there for Vichitravidya, but they taunted him and he got angry. You kings and princes, you dare insult me, I challenge all of you to a fight. And he fought all of them, and he was so powerful that he fought every single one of them and defeated them. And he took the 3 daughters of Kasi in his chariot and rode back to Hastinapura. On the way, there was a king called Salva, who was in love with the eldest daughter, Amba, and he came chasing after Bhishma and said, fight me, and then go. Bhishma fought him and defeated him too. And because Amba begged Bhishma to spare Salva's life, Bhishma spared Salva's life, went away. Once they reached Hastinapura, Bhishma said, okay, I got the 3 daughters of Kashi. Let's make a wedding happen. So this Amba replied and said, oh Bhishma, I cannot marry Vichitravidya. Bhishma said, what? I'm in love with King Salva. My heart belongs to him. I don't want to marry Vichitravidya. You wanted to tell me this before? So Bhishma said, okay, that is the right thing to do. So he sent Amba with all due respect to King Salva. And Ambika and Ambalika married Vichitravidya. Guys. Married Vichitravidya. So Amba went back to Salva. She approached King Salva and said, I'm back. And King Salva said, okay, that's good, but I can't really marry you. Amba asked, why? He said, you know, Bhishma defeated me in public and humiliated me. I cannot take you as a pity from him. Go back to him and do what he says. I said, what is this? I made all that speech about being in love when I came here and you're saying this. Salva said, no, you can go back. So Amba went back to Hastinapura and related what had happened. So Bhishma said, okay, Vichitravidya went to marry Amba now. Now this time Vichitravidya said, no. And I wanted to marry you, you said no, now I won't marry you. So Amba was kind of embarrassed. She turned to Bhishma and said, you are the reason for all this confusion. I was happy in a Swayamvara. You married me. Bhishma said, no, I can't do that. Why couldn't he do that? Because he took a vow. Said, I cannot marry you because I promised never to marry. Salva wouldn't marry her. Vichitravidya wouldn't marry her. Bhishma couldn't marry her. Amba was stranded. She felt humiliated. And she held Bhishma accountable for the plight that she was in. She said, Bhishma, I will not rest until I destroy you. And she stormed out of the kingdom. And she went to kingdom after kingdom after kingdom, requesting kings to fight Bhishma. Can you fight Bhishma for me? Can you fight Bhishma for me? And none of the kings were brave enough to fight Bhishma. She eventually approached the great Parashurama and told her story. Parashurama took pity on Amba and tried to reason with Bhishma. But Bhishma wouldn't listen. Bhishma wouldn't listen to anybody because he held his promise so high. Amba, unable to know, now that every human had failed her, she prayed to Lord Shiva for years and years and years. Lord Shiva appeared before her and asked her, what do you want? Amba said, I want to destroy Bhishma. That's the boon I want. Shiva said, not going to happen. He's too powerful. She kept saying, no, that is all I want. So Shiva said, Bhishma is too powerful. In this lifetime you cannot defeat him. In your next lifetime, I give you the boon that you will be the one to kill him. So many years later, Amba got this boon, but she was so impatient for the next lifetime to come because she wanted revenge. She raised a fire and jumped into it and killed herself. And she was immediately reborn as the daughter of the king of Panchala, of King Drupada. She was born as his daughter and through powers of penance, transformed herself into a male warrior called Shikhandi. And years later, in the battle of Kurukshetra, it was Shikhandi who causes Bhishma's death. This law of universe, this law called the law of karma, does not care how things are evened out. It will always ensure that it is evened out. It could be because of incidents that happened yesterday, day before yesterday, last year, a decade ago, millions of years ago, different lifetimes. But things will always be evened out. Bhishma did something by taking the 3 daughters of Kasi without first asking, and he could have just asked them, are you in love with anybody by any chance? You want to come with me, not come with me? Bhishma did an act and years later had to pay for it. Okay. So, this is an example. There are hundreds of stories like this and characters that teach us many valuable lessons, and Mahabharata shows us that in very interesting ways. I have been publishing books and comic books on the iPad. Some of the books are available here. So that these stories are available in a condensed form. Comes with an audiobook that's only 10 minutes a length for each chapter, in condensed form. So we can imbibe these lessons, and every book points out what we can learn from that story. Every chapter has that. I do free sessions on YouTube. It's always free to listen to. Search by my name. And every work is available at gurukula.com. This story, if studied in a regular basis, will make an enormous impact and difference in how we live and perceive life itself. Thanks for coming. Thank you very much, Swamiji, for inviting me.
And if you have any questions also, you can email Sriram.